When a person comes for ministry, where do you start? I'd like to give you 7 preliminaries. First, I'll start by listening. What is it they need? Why are they seeking help? What is the issue? After I've listened, I'll summarize in my own words what I heard and repeat it back to them to make sure I understood correctly. The second preliminary is I'll explain. What is Renew Ministry, and what are we trying to do? I typically talk about some of the principles we looked at in Module 2, for example, why it's important to look below the waterline, the principles of association and triggering, the transforming power of bringing comfort and perspective to places in the heart that are hurting, how emotion can connect us with inner hurting places. I like to say that emotion is the window of the soul. It's like a smoke trail. If we follow it, we can find where the fire is and get it taken care of. I'll talk about the power we found, and more directly including the Holy Spirit, to lead the process and to speak truth to hurting places in the heart. Often I'll share our theme verse, Psalm 139. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxious thoughts, and see if there's any hurtful way in me, and lead me in the everlasting way. The third preliminary is, having explained, I'll get their feedback. I'll see if they have any questions, and I'll ask what they think about what I shared, and ask if they would like to give it a try. Occasionally someone won't be comfortable with the process once I've explained it, and that's fine. This won't be the approach for everyone. Fourth, I'll work to create an environment of safety and trust. I talk to them about confidentiality. I assure them that I will keep what happens confidential unless I get their permission to share it with someone. Respecting confidentiality is vital since we're uncovering thoughts, desires, and memories that may be embarrassing to them or to someone they love. I'll talk to them about grace and forgiveness and stress that this is not a place of judgment. They're often wondering, will I be ridiculed or rejected? And that's a legitimate question because many people have been rejected or scolded when they express their anger, or they've been mocked when they've expressed weakness or vulnerability or fear. Sometimes people have even been shamed by therapists or pastors or other caregivers. So I talk about how this is a place of grace. We believe in the power of the blood of Christ to forgive any and every sin, no matter how deplorable or frequent. Talking about things that bring guilt or shame actually are welcome here. This is not a place of judgment because the judgment fell on Jesus. And that's enough to cover anything and everything. I'll also let them know that their emotions are welcome. I'll let them know how we joke about judging the success of a session by how many Kleenex we used. The more used, the better the session. Your emotions and your tears are welcome here, and your anger is welcome here. I'll let them know that I've listened to a lot of anger and rage over the years and found that whenever we dig down and find out why it's there, there's always a reason. It always makes sense. And I'll let them know that whatever thoughts and beliefs come forward, they're welcome no matter how embarrassing or extreme. In Renew Ministry, we actually rejoice when we find things like anger, shame, hopelessness, or criticism. These show us that we're on the path of healing. Our goal is to find and explore extreme thoughts and emotions so as to understand them. And we also understand that an angry or a hurtful part is only a part of the person. And we know that the recipient as a whole would be horrified to ever act on these extreme thoughts and emotions. A motto that we've adopted from IFS is, all parts are welcome. The fifth preliminary, I'll ask about their fears. I'll ask if they have any anxiety or hesitation about giving it a try. Almost always they do. There might be fear of finding something embarrassing or shameful. There might be fear that a difficult or forgotten memory will come forward. They may be concerned about dishonoring their parents. Or they may fear being overwhelmed by emotion. Or it may simply be a fear of the unknown. After all, this is something new to them. It's helpful to ask about fears right off the bat so that their anxious managers can express their reservations rather than being disregarded and overlooked. Whatever the fear is, I ask about it until it makes sense to me, and then I validate it by saying, "That makes sense." Then I will speak to the fear as best I can and try to show that we can avoid that happening. Or if it does happen, that we can effectively handle it. Sixth, I'll ask about their support system. I'll let them know that it's not always easy to tuck away painful emotions that get stirred up but not fully resolved in a session. We have ways of trying to avoid that, but sometimes people find that their emotional state can become more fragile for a season. So I'll inquire about the amount of support they have available from their family and friends and church. Seventh, I'll do what is certainly the most essential thing we must do. I'll pray. Pray for open, honest, and receptive hearts. Pray for wisdom, both for the recipient and for the caregiver. I'll thank God for His goodness, forgiveness, love, and for His presence. And pray that God would use the time for His glory. Pray for the Lord's guidance through the Holy Spirit. And pray that God would search the heart and bring to light anything that needs perspective, comfort, or correction. So there are 7 preliminaries when first meeting with the recipient. Listen to their problem, explain the ministry, get their feedback, create safety, inquire about fears, ask about their support system, and pray.